In the vast, intricate web of life, every action resonates beyond itself. A single raindrop falls into a river, causing ripples that spread in all directions. That raindrop, seemingly insignificant, eventually nourishes the soil, feeds the roots of a tree, and sustains the creatures that depend on it. Karma works in much the same way. It is the universal principle of cause and effect, a force as natural as gravity or the changing of the seasons. Every thought, word, and action creates ripples, touching the world around us in ways we often cannot see. Nature offers endless examples of this interconnected balance. Consider the delicate relationship between flowers and bees. The flower provides nectar. The bee carries pollen, ensuring the survival of both species. This mutual exchange reflects karma's core truth. Actions have consequences, and those consequences, in turn, shape the world. But karma is not merely an external phenomenon. It influences our inner world as well. Our choices, driven by intention, shape how we feel, how we think, and how we connect with others. When we act with kindness, generosity, or compassion, the positive effects ripple outward, improving relationships, fostering trust, and creating a sense of fulfillment within ourselves. Conversely, actions rooted in anger, selfishness, or deceit sow different seeds. Like an invasive species disrupting an ecosystem, such actions create imbalance, leading to disharmony in both our external environment and internal state. Ancient wisdom traditions, from Hinduism to Buddhism, have long taught that karma is not a system of punishment or reward. It is simply the natural return of energy we send into the world. Much like a seed planted in fertile ground, our actions, whether positive or negative, bear fruit in time. Science, too, echoes this understanding. Social psychology shows how our behaviors influence those around us. Acts of kindness often inspire others to act with similar goodwill. This phenomenon, known as the contagion effect, mirrors karma's principle of cause and effect in human relationships. And so, as we move through life, we are invited to become conscious gardeners of our actions. To pause and ask, what kind of seeds am I planting today? Because the ripples we create today shape the landscape of tomorrow. Karma is not an abstract or distant idea. It unfolds in the ordinary moments of our daily lives. Every interaction, every word spoken, every decision made carries a consequence, sometimes immediate, sometimes delayed, but always present. Imagine a simple act of kindness, holding the door open for a stranger or offering a genuine compliment. These small gestures often elicit a smile, a thank you, or even a lifted mood that lingers throughout the day. Psychologists call this the upstream effect. A positive action can influence not just one person, but many, as the recipient often passes along the positivity to others. On the other hand, actions rooted in negativity also create ripples. A harsh word or an impatient gesture can spread frustration, just as a stone thrown into still water disrupts the surface. Over time, patterns of such behavior can erode relationships, trust, and personal well-being. Karma reminds us of a simple truth. We are the architects of our reality. Our actions, words, and intentions continuously shape our environment and our experiences. In psychology, this is known as the law of reciprocal determinism. Our behavior influences our surroundings, which then shapes how we continue to act. But karma is not about fear or punishment. It is a guide for mindful living. When we recognize the power of cause and effect in our daily lives, we gain greater control over our actions. By choosing kindness, honesty, and compassion, we plant seeds of harmony. Each day presents countless opportunities to shape the world around us. The question is not whether we are creating karma, but what kind of karma we choose to create. Nature operates in cycles. The water that evaporates from the ocean returns as rain. The leaves that fall in autumn decompose into the soil, nourishing new growth in spring. This cyclical pattern is a fundamental law of the universe, and karma mirrors this natural rhythm. Karma, like nature, moves in cycles. Actions, whether kind or cruel, eventually circle back to their origin. It might take hours, days, or even years, but the effects of what we do always return. The life cycle of a tree offers a perfect example. A seed falls to the ground, takes root, and grows into a towering presence. Over decades, it provides shelter for animals, oxygen for the atmosphere, and shade for those who pass by. When the tree falls, its decaying form enriches the soil, making way for new growth. Its impact, though seemingly complete, lives on in the ecosystem it once supported. Human actions follow the same principle. When we act with kindness, the positive energy often returns, sometimes from unexpected sources. Conversely, when our actions cause harm, we may find ourselves entangled in the consequences, even when the original act has long been forgotten. Psychologists have long observed a phenomenon called reciprocal altruism, the tendency for kindness to generate more kindness. Research conducted at Harvard University reveals that when people experience an act of generosity, they are more likely to help others in turn. This chain reaction of goodwill resembles karma in action. Positive behavior ripples outward, affecting individuals beyond the original interaction. Animals too demonstrate this principle. Dolphins support injured pod members. Vampire bats share food with others that have gone hungry, knowing they may need the same help in the future. These behaviors, rooted in survival, reflect a natural understanding of cause and effect within social groups. But karma is not only about positive reinforcement. Studies in social psychology show that negative actions also have a ripple effect. Gossip, distrust, or aggressive behavior often create cycles of defensiveness and hostility. In group settings, these behaviors can fracture relationships and erode cooperation. Understanding the scientific basis of karma encourages us to be more mindful. When we act with compassion, trust, and honesty, we contribute to cycles of positivity that can uplift entire communities. Karma, when understood deeply, becomes more than a universal law. It becomes a tool for self-improvement. Each action we take offers feedback, a mirror reflecting the consequences of our choices. In this sense, karma acts as a teacher, guiding us toward growth through experience. Consider a person who consistently acts with kindness and integrity. Over time, they build relationships founded on trust and respect. Their actions not only influence others, but also shape their own self-perception. Psychologists refer to this as self-concordance, the alignment between one's actions and core values. When we act in ways that reflect our principles, we feel a greater sense of authenticity and well-being. In contrast, when our actions conflict with our values, whether through dishonesty, neglect, or indifference, we experience internal dissonance. This discomfort, while unpleasant, serves a purpose. It signals the need for change, encouraging us to reassess our behavior. Karma reminds us that improvement is always possible. Each day presents an opportunity to make different choices, to plant new seeds. Through mindful awareness of our actions and their effects, we become more intentional in how we live. Ultimately, karma invites us to take responsibility for our lives. It shows us that by changing our actions, we can influence not only our external circumstances, but also our internal landscape. Growth, after all, is not a passive process. It is the result of conscious, purposeful action. In the realm of karma, intention matters as much as action. While the physical outcomes of an action are visible, the intention behind it is often invisible, but deeply significant. Karma invites us to live with intention, to pause before we speak, to reflect before we act, to understand that our choices have weight, even when their consequences are not immediately visible. And so, as we step into each day, let us ask ourselves, what energy am I sending into the world? Because karma is more than a cosmic law, it is a reminder of our power to shape reality. Through mindful, compassionate action, we can contribute to a world where harmony and balance prevail. If you found this exploration meaningful, like the video, subscribe to the channel and join us on more journeys into life's deepest truths.